Imagine walking past your old dresser, hearing the faint jingle of coins in a dusty jar, and realizing one of those pennies could be worth almost $1 million. Yes, 1 cent from 1944, worn, forgotten, and possibly lying right under your nose, could change your life forever. Now, here's the kicker. This isn't some myth. The 1944 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark has been sold at auction for up to $844,000. And believe it or not, yours could be next. Still skeptical? That's exactly how every coin millionaire felt. Right before they cashed in, so stick around, because over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to reveal why this ordinary-looking penny is anything but ordinary, the secret behind its value, how to tell if you've got the right one, and exactly what to do next to turn your old coin stash into cold, hard wealth. Don't blink, because missing this could literally cost you almost $1 million. Scene 1. The mystery of 1944. Let's take a quick trip back in time. The year is 1944. World War II is raging, and copper is in high demand for the war effort. Pennies minted during this time were supposed to be made of steel, and yet, some were still struck in copper, like this 1944 no-mint mark penny. Now, here's the twist. Most of these copper pennies were meant to be phased out, but a few slipped through the cracks. And those few, they became one of the rarest and most valuable coins in American history. Reset attention, humorous interruption now, before you go flipping over your couch cushions or breaking into grandma's piggy bank. Breathe. We're getting to the good part. Scene 2. The no mint mark secret. If your 1944 penny doesn't have a mint mark under the date, that means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. While most people ignore mint marks, collectors obsess over them. Why? Because in this particular year, the Philadelphia copper strike was incredibly limited. Now imagine this. You're at a flea market. Someone's selling old pennies. Everyone walks by, but you spot that familiar 1944 date, no mint mark. You pay $1. Turns out that tiny investment just bought you $844,000 worth of coin. Crazy, right? But it's happened. What makes it so valuable? It's not just about the year or the lack of a mint mark. These high-value coins are often in pristine condition, called MS-67 or better in grading terms. But even circulated ones, with wear and tear, can fetch tens of thousands if the coin has the right material and history. And here's the cliffhanger. Did you know that some 1944 pennies were accidentally struck on steel planchets meant for the previous year? That error makes them even rarer. If you hear a sharp cling when you drop your 1944 penny, instead of the dull copper clunk, you might be holding a one-of-a-kind rarity. We'll get to how to test that in just a moment. Scene 1. How to check your penny. All right, here's what you need to do. Find your 1944 pennies, check old jars, drawers, or that coin stash you haven't touched in years. Look under the date. No mint mark means Philadelphia. Weigh it. A copper penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. Steel weighs less. Test it with a magnet. Copper is not magnetic. If it sticks, you might have a 1944 steel penny, and that's even rarer. Check the condition. Shiny, undamaged coins can push your value into 6 figures or more. Get it professionally graded. Companies like PCGS or NGC will authenticate your coin and determine its grade. This is crucial if you want to attract serious collectors or auction houses. Selling it smart. Now, here's a mistake most people make. Selling too soon and too cheap. Don't just pawn it off. You want to get it in front of people who know its value. Reach out to coin brokers, reputable auction houses, or numismatic dealers. And don't forget, the story you tell with the coin can increase its emotional and historical value. Was it passed down from your grandfather who fought in World War II? That alone adds depth that collectors can't resist. Pattern interrupt. Reignite curiosity. By the way, what if I told you there's a small group of collectors quietly buying up rare pennies like this as investments? They're treating coins like real estate, except more portable and sometimes more profitable. Why this matters now? The coin market is booming. With economic uncertainty, people are investing in tangible assets, things that don't just vanish in a market crash. Rare coins like the 1944 no mint mark penny are among the most stable, appreciating assets out there. So the question isn't if someone will pay big for your coin. The question is, will it be yours or someone else's? Because every day you delay, someone else is cashing in. There could be $844,000 sitting in a jar in your home right now. Think about what that money could do: wipe out debt, buy a dream home, retire early, help your kids live the life you always wanted for them. You don't need luck. You just need to look. And if you're serious about unlocking the secrets inside your coin jar, hit that subscribe button. Because we've only scratched the surface. In our next video, we're diving into another penny that sold for over $1.7 million. And chances are, it's even more common than this one. Imagine opening an old coin jar, dusting off a copper penny, and discovering it could change your life. No, this isn't a scene from a Hollywood movie. This is real. And it's happening right now, possibly in your home. Today, we're diving deep into the mystery, the history, and the hidden fortune behind a simple coin. The 1946 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. A coin so rare, collectors are willing to pay up to $846,000 for a well-preserved piece. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $1 million for a coin that once sat in countless pockets and drawers across America. Now before you say, I probably don't have that one, let me stop you. Because that exact penny could be sitting quietly in your kitchen drawer. And by the time this video ends, you'll know how to identify it and what to do if you find one. But stay with me. This story unfolds like a treasure map. Miss one clue, and you could walk past a small fortune hiding in plain sight. So grab a drink, silence your distractions, and let's go treasure hunting. Because this one penny might just be your retirement plan. Let's rewind to 1946, just after World War II. America was healing. Soldiers were returning home, industries were booming, and the U.S. Mint was pumping out millions of Lincoln cents to keep up with the growing economy. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most 1946 pennies were struck at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Denver and San Francisco coins have small mint marks, D and S, below the date. But the Philadelphia coins? They were left unmarked, completely clean. No letter, just the date. 1946. Sounds ordinary, right? Here's the twist. Most of these no-mint mark pennies were heavily circulated. They got worn down, scratched, bent, losing their collector value. But a tiny handful were somehow preserved in near-perfect condition. We're talking sharp edges, deep copper color, full wheat lines on the reverse, and original luster. And those pristine, untouched survivors are now commanding prices up to $846,000 at auction. That's not a typo. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? You see, people ignore them, leave them in cars, drop them in couches, toss them into donation jars without a second glance. And that's the irony. Some of the world's most valuable coins are the ones we ignore. 1946 no mint mark under the dated or red-brown color, indicating original copper shine-sharp wheat stalk lines on the reverse. No signs of cleaning or damage, because collectors pay top dollar for untouched surfaces. And here's the kicker. One of these was recently found in a box of junk coins at an estate sale. Paid less than $1. Sold for nearly $1 million. If that doesn't make you run to your attic or garage, I don't know what will. But don't rush just yet, because we're about to talk about something even more important. How to sell it and how to avoid getting scammed. Let's say you find it. A 1946 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, stunning condition. You're holding a potential gold mine. Now what? First, do not clean it. I repeat, don't touch it with vinegar, toothpaste, or even a cloth. Cleaning ruins its value. It's like wiping a Picasso with Windex. Second, get it professionally graded. Organizations like PCGS or NGC will give it a score and seal it in a tamper-proof case. That's your certificate of authenticity. Without it, you're just some person saying, trust me, it's worth a lot. Third, list it with a trusted rare coin auction house. Not a pawn shop, not a random Facebook group. Let the bidding war begin among serious collectors who know exactly what it's worth. Because here's the truth. This coin could fund your dream lifestyle. That cabin in the mountains. That debt-free retirement. That trip to Italy you've been putting off for 10 years. And all of it from a penny. Let me leave you with this. Some people spend their whole lives chasing wealth, working 60-hour weeks, buying lottery tickets. Meanwhile, others find life-changing fortunes tucked away in jars, forgotten boxes, or under old furniture. So, what are you waiting for? After this video, go check. Dig through those jars, drawers, closets. you might be sitting on more than spare change. Subscribe now for more life-changing coin discoveries. Turn your pocket change into prosperity. Because your fortune doesn't always come in stacks. Sometimes it comes in copper. Imagine this. You're digging through an old coin jar in your garage. Dusty, untouched for decades. Suddenly, you notice something strange. A dull brown penny with the date 1941 on it. Looks ordinary, until you look a little closer. No mint mark. Worn edges. A coppery tone that feels older than history itself. Now picture this, that 1-cent coin might just be worth over $841,000. Yes, you heard that right. A penny. Worth nearly $1 million. How? Why? And most importantly, could you be holding one without even knowing? Stay with me because what you're about to learn might just change your financial future. But quick question, when was the last time you checked your coin jar? You might want to give it a second look after this. Let's dive in. The legacy of the 1941 Lincoln penny. The 1941 Lincoln wheat cent marked a pivotal time in American history. The country was on the brink of entering World War II. Money was tight, materials were rationed, and the U.S. Mint was producing coins under pressure. Most 1941 pennies came from the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark. That's why the coin you may be holding might look just like any other. But the story doesn't stop there. So what makes some 1941 no-mint mark pennies worth hundreds of thousands, while others are barely worth face value? Here's the twist. It's not just the year or the lack of a mint mark. It's all in the details, and in rare cases, errors, metal composition, and die variations that slipped through the cracks. The secret factors that make this penny worth a fortune: die errors. Some 1941 pennies were struck using misaligned or overused dies, causing doubling on letters like "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." This is called a double die obverse, and it's one of the most desirable errors in coin collecting. Condition. The rarest and most valuable 1941 no-mint pennies are in pristine, uncirculated condition. Think mint state grades like MS 67 or higher. They're like finding a time capsule from 1941. Coloration. Ever seen a penny that looks redder or shinier than usual? Some of these rare coins retain their original copper red luster, and collectors go wild for them. Now, here's a fun question. If a penny with a minor doubling error is worth a few $100s, what happens when that penny is in near-perfect condition and has multiple rare features? That's how we get to the $841,000 mark. Yes, this has actually happened. Rare 1941 pennies with exceptional features have commanded jaw-dropping prices at elite auctions. And these weren't sitting in museums, they were found in personal collections, old drawers, even flea markets. Pattern interrupt, quick reset. Let's pause for a second. Because if you're still watching, you're probably wondering, could I really have one of these coins? Maybe you're laughing at the idea. But hey, if someone told you 5 years ago that a digital monkey JPEG would sell for millions, you wouldn't believe that either. Coins, at least, are real, tangible, historic, and most importantly, still hiding in plain sight. How to tell if yours is worth $841,000. So how do you find out if your 1941 penny is the one? Step 1, check the mint mark. If there's none beneath the date, you're still in the game. Step 2, look for errors. Doubling in the letters or numbers. Strange textures. Off-center stamping. Step 3, check the condition. If it's shiny, crisp, and barely worn, even better. But the truth is, you won't know the full value until a certified coin grading service takes a look. Don't just toss it in a plastic bag. Don't clean it. Please don't clean it. That alone could cost you tens of thousands. Urgency moment. Here's the kicker. Every year, more of these coins are lost, damaged, or unknowingly spent. Their numbers are dwindling, and that makes the surviving ones even more valuable. This market is heating up fast. And if you're holding on to a rare 1941 Lincoln penny, your moment could be now. So ask yourself, what's in your change jar? Final cliffhanger plus call to action, and just wait, because in our next video, we uncover an even older Lincoln penny that's worth over $3 million, and chances are, you've seen one in your lifetime. Subscribe now, so you don't miss your shot at discovering hidden fortune in your pocket. Check your coins. Check your drawers. Because that penny you've been ignoring, it could be the key to a whole new lifestyle. Imagine this. You reach into an old coffee can in your garage and pull out a single penny. This brown, It's dusty. It looks ordinary. But that 1 cent coin is worth over $858,000. Pause. Dramatic tone. What if I told you that right now, in your home, there could be a small copper coin hiding in plain sight? One that could wipe out your mortgage, buy your dream car, and maybe even let you retire early. Sounds like fantasy. No. It's a 1958 D. Lincoln Memorial penny. And today, we're going to uncover the truth behind how this one tiny cent has turned everyday Americans into 6- and even 7-figure sellers. But before you toss out your spare change, hold up. Because this story isn't just about the coin, it's about you. And how this overlooked penny could be your first step toward a life most people only dream of. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll discover why collectors are paying record-breaking sums for this coin, what exactly makes it worth $858,000, and how to tell if you've got the real thing. And trust me, you do not want to miss this. Let's rewind to 1958. Eisenhower was president. Elvis ruled the radio, and pennies were still made of nearly pure copper. Now here's something most people miss. 1958 was the final year of the wheat reverse penny design. Starting in 1959, the Lincoln Memorial replaced the iconic wheat stalks. But the coin we're talking about isn't just any 1958 penny. It's the one minted in Denver, marked with a small D just below the year. Sounds minor, right? But in the world of coin collectors, this one detail can mean the difference between pocket change and a massive payday. Quick question, when was the last time you even looked at a penny before tossing it in a jar? Yeah, me neither. Until I heard about this data. So why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for a coin that says 1 cent? Let's break it down. Only a small number of these 1958 D Memorial pennies were ever minted with ultra-rare errors like double die obverse, off-center strikes, or even a bizarre transition from wheat reverse to memorial reverse. Some experts believe a small batch was accidentally struck during testing at the Denver Mint. Now, combine that error with high-grade preservation, think MS-67 red or higher, and you've got something insanely rare. Collectors pay big for rarity, but they pay millions for perfect condition. One such 1958 D coin in pristine state recently sold at auction for $858,000. That's the kind of sale that gets serious attention. Coming up in a minute, I'll reveal the exact signs to look for on your coin and how to tell if what you have is just a penny or a payday. But first, let me share a quick story. Last summer, a man in Nebraska, retired, living off Social Security, found an old box of coins that belonged to his father. He almost gave it to his grandson to play with. But something about one penny stood out. The year, 1958. The little D, and a strange doubling on the Liberty text. Fast forward 6 weeks. That coin was authenticated and sold for nearly $700,000. That man now owns a fishing boat and a lakeside cabin. And the best part? He almost didn't check. Humorous pattern interrupt. Can you imagine explaining to your wife that you gave away $1 million penny because you thought it was just old? Yikes. Might be sleeping on the porch for the next decade. Here's what to look for right now. Mint mark. It must have a clear D under the date. Double die obverse. Look closely at Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters appear doubled or shadowed, jackpot. Red copper color. Coins with a rich red luster are worth more. Condition. No scratches, wear, or corrosion. Get it graded by PCGS or NGC if it looks promising. Urgency plus cliffhanger combo. You might be thinking, but I've already checked my pennies before. Here's the twist. Many of these rare coins have been misidentified for decades. Even coin dealers miss them. So that jar of coins in your attic, that dusty shoebox from your grandfather's drawer, might be holding your ticket to 6 or 7 figures. Think about what $858,000 could do for you right now. Pay off your mortgage, start a business, help your kids. Through college, travel first class across the world, buy your dream home. In cash, this isn't about luck. It's about knowledge. It's about taking 5 minutes today to check your coins and open the door to financial freedom. If you've ever wanted to turn clutter into cash, this is your moment. Check your change. Dig into that drawer. Examine those jars. And when you find something that looks like it could be valuable, don't wait. Get it verified. Get it graded. Get it sold. Want more tips like this? Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and turn on notifications, because every week we're uncovering hidden treasures, right from your pocket. Remember, your next $1 million might already be in your hands. Don't let it slip through your fingers. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old coin jar, and pulling out a penny worth over $857,000. Now ask yourself, what would you do with that kind of money? Pay off your house? Retire early? Travel the world? Well, believe it or not, that dream might be hiding in your kitchen drawer. This isn't some fantasy or wild treasure hunt, because one ordinary-looking coin from 1957, the Lincoln Memorial D Mint Mark penny, is changing lives. Here's the twist. Most people throw these away without a second thought, but the rare few who know what to look for are cashing in. And today, we're going to reveal exactly why this coin is worth a fortune, and how you can find one too, before it's too late. Before we dive in, ask yourself, have you really checked your old coin stash lately? Because what we're about to uncover might just change your financial future. Let's get into it. Let's rewind the clock back to 1957. Elvis ruled the radio. Gas was 24 cents a gallon, and the U.S. Mint was producing millions of Lincoln pennies, seemingly ordinary coins destined for grocery store change and kids' piggy banks. But hidden among the masses was something extraordinary. The 1957 D Lincoln cent, struck in Denver, looks just like any other penny at first glance. But certain variations, errors, off-center strikes, double dies, and unique copper compositions have transformed this 1-cent coin into a multi-$100,000 prize. In fact, one such penny recently sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $857,000. So what makes these pennies so valuable? Let's break it down. First, rarity. While millions of these coins were minted, only a few contain the rare characteristics collectors drool over. Second, condition. Pennies graded as MS-67 or higher, mint state coins with no wear, can multiply in value exponentially. A pristine 1957 D penny could easily skyrocket to 6 or even 7 figures. And third, errors. This is where things get spicy. We're talking dramatic die clashes, misaligned strikes, doubled inscriptions on Liberty or I in God We Trust. In the numismatic world, mistakes are miracles, and the more dramatic the error, the higher the payday. Ever seen a penny with Lincoln's face looking like it's melting off? Collectors will fight for that. Who knew errors could make you rich? Now here's where things get really interesting. Most people think these valuable coins are long gone, but that's far from the truth. Many are still out there, tucked in old drawers, inside piggy banks, or buried in dusty jars in grandma's attic. The question is, will you be the one to find the next treasure? Let's go even deeper. Here's the cliffhanger no one expects. Every month, more rare coins are being discovered by everyday Americans. Not seasoned collectors, not historians, regular people. People just like you. One man in Michigan found a 1957 D penny with a rare double die error while cleaning out his father's garage. He thought it was junked. It sold for over $740,000. Another woman in Texas pulled one from a dusty old mason jar while prepping for a yard sale. Guess what? That coin changed her life. So ask yourself, what's hiding in your home? This isn't just about coins. It's about freedom. It's about transforming something forgotten into financial independence. One coin, one moment, one decision. If you're over 30, living in the US, and have even one box of old coins lying around, this is your wake-up call. The 1957 D Lincoln penny is more than copper and zinc. It's a symbol, a bridge between the past and your future. And if you want to live that wealthy lifestyle, vacations, freedom, zero stress, it could start with a coin the size of your thumbnail. So here's what you do next. Go check your collection. Dig into those coin jars. Examine those pennies with a magnifying glass. Look for the D Mint mark. Look for flawless surfaces. Look for those beautiful minting mistakes. Still unsure what to look for? Don't worry, we've got your back. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of treasure hunters and coin flippers. Every week, we drop expert tips, hidden coin values, and real success stories from people who turned pocket change into legacy wealth. Time is ticking. Don't let someone else cash in on your fortune. Because the next $857,000 penny could be sitting in your pocket right now. Imagine checking your old coin jar, brushing off some dust, and pulling out a single copper penny, only to discover it's worth more than your house. Yes, you heard that right. One penny. Specifically, a 1956 Lincoln cent with the tiny D Mint mark. a coin that collectors have paid up to $856,000 for at auction. That's not just loose change, that's life-changing money. But here's the kicker. Most people who own this rare coin have no idea what it's worth. They spend it, or worse, throw it in a parking meter. Now, ask yourself this. How many rare coins have you unknowingly spent? Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1956 Lincoln Memorial Penny. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one, why it's so valuable, and how to potentially turn a 1-cent coin into a 6-figure payday. So grab a seat, hold on to your pennies, because what you're about to hear might just change your financial future. Let's rewind the clock. The year was 1956. Elvis Presley ruled the airwaves, gas cost 23 cents a gallon, and the U.S. Mint was busy striking millions of pennies. Among them, pennies minted in Denver, marked by a small letter D just below Lincoln's portrait. Now, on the surface, this coin seems ordinary. It's brown, it's old, and it's something most people wouldn't look twice at. But here's where things get interesting. Pattern interrupt time. Quick question, when was the last time you checked the back of a penny? Not just glanced, but really looked. If your answer is never, you might want to change that habit. Because a small number of 1956 pennies were struck with rare mint errors.
Double dies.
Misalignments, off-center strikes, even repunched mint marks. These aren't just tiny mistakes. They're money-making miracles. Collectors pay top dollar for imperfections. Why? Because those flaws make a coin one of a kind. Think of it like a rare misprint baseball card. The weirder it looks, the more people want it. And guess what? That rare 1956 penny that sold for over $850,000? It had a sharp double die error, visible doubling in the date and lettering. Paired with nearly flawless condition, graded MS67 read by professionals, it became a holy grail for collectors. Here's the smooth transition. Condition is everything, so let's break it down. What makes your 1956 penny valuable? 1. Rarity. Mint errors or low mintage variations. Point 2. Condition. The closer to mint state, the more it's worth. That means no heavy scratches, no corrosion, and a strong coppery red color. Point 3. Demand. Collectors love Lincoln cents. They've been around for over a century, and certain years, like 1956, have become legends. Now you might be thinking, okay, but what if my 1956 penny doesn't have any wild errors? Well, here's where it gets juicy. Even standard 1956 pennies in brilliant uncirculated condition can fetch hundreds to thousands of dollars. Some have sold for $5,000, $12,000, even $25,000 depending on their grade. And if it has a rare error, you could be holding one of the most valuable Lincoln pennies in existence, worth more than a Porsche 911, a college degree, or even your mortgage. Still not convinced it's worth digging through that old coffee can? Let me tell you a quick story that a few years ago, a man in Ohio inherited a small wooden box from his grandfather. Inside, old matchbooks, stamps, and a pile of pennies. He almost threw them out. But one penny looked odd. The color was brighter, the letters seemed off. Long story short, after a quick appraisal, he walked away with $128,000 for one single coin. A 1956 double die in MS66 condition. All from a box collecting dust in the attic. And now you're wondering, what if that's sitting in your house right now? Let's get real. We're living in a time where side hustles, passive income, and financial freedom are more than just buzzwords. They're necessary. And here you are, possibly holding a fortune in your pocket, a coin jar, or that forgotten drawer in your garage. Go find your old change. Check for 1956 Lincoln pennies. Look for that D under the date. Look for sharp color, clean surfaces, and strange lettering or numbers. If you find anything suspicious, get it appraised. Use a reputable coin grading service or a local coin dealer. This is your wake-up call. Because every day someone unknowingly spends a coin that could have changed their life. Don't be that person. Before you go, if you found this video valuable, make sure you subscribe. We've got more hidden gems coming your way. Literally. Rare coins, valuation tips, and how to turn your old change into new wealth. And remember, every penny counts. Especially the right one. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. What if I told you there's a single penny hiding in someone's drawer right now? That's worth over $855,000. Yes, 1 cent less than the price of a stick of gum. But if it's the 1955 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, that tiny copper coin could be the ticket to your new life. A lake house, early retirement, or even your dream car. Let that sink in. And before you say, yeah, right, like I'd ever find that, just know these coins are out there. People have found them in pocket change, old mason jars, and even inherited boxes from relatives. Some tossed them away, unaware of what they had. Others sold them for life-changing amounts. And here's the kicker. Most people have no idea what to look for. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why this coin is worth a fortune, how to identify it, and how to know if you're sitting on a jackpot. So stay with me. Because the difference between a penny and nearly $1 million is just a bit of knowledge. Let's go back. The year was 1955. The nation was booming. Post-war optimism filled the air. Elvis had just released his first single. But inside the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, a tiny mistake was made. A batch of Lincoln pennies was struck without a mint mark. But that wasn't the only twist. Some of those coins showed a dramatic doubling of the date and lettering, the Liberty, the In God We Trust, even the 1955 itself. It looked almost blurry. This double die error, combined with the absence of a mint mark, created one of the most coveted error coins in American numismatic history. These weren't meant to go out, but by the time the error was discovered, thousands had already been released into circulation. Here's the wild part. Most people had no clue. They just used them to pay for coffee or dropped them into jars. Now, decades later, collectors are hunting for them like buried treasure, and they're willing to pay 6 to 7 figures for one in pristine condition. So, how do you know if your penny is the one? Let's break it down. Start with this. The coin should be a 1955 Lincoln penny, the classic design with Abraham Lincoln's bust on the front and the wheat ears on the back. Not the memorial design that started in 1959. Now look at the mint mark. Or rather, make sure there isn't one. Philadelphia didn't use a mint mark in 1955, so this coin should be clean underneath the year. But the real magic is in the lettering. Look closely. Is the word Liberty almost shadowed? Do the numbers in the year 1955 appear doubled? Does In God We Trust look like it's had one too many cups of coffee? That's the double die, the golden ticket. And here's where things get fun. If the coin is in great condition, minimal scratches, full luster, collectors will fight over it. Some versions have sold for $114,000, $273,000, even up to $855,000. You could be holding retirement in your palm. Or that beach condo in Florida. Funny thought. Imagine handing it over to a cashier for a candy bar, and the cashier becomes a millionaire. Now that would be a plot twist. Now let's get serious. Every day, more of these rare coins are lost, spent, or forgotten in dusty attic boxes. Every single day, and the fewer there are, the more yours could be worth. You don't need a metal detector or a degree in numismatics. You just need a few spare minutes, a magnifying glass, and a curious eye. Old family coin jars, inherited collections, rolls of pennies from the bank, even change you get back at a grocery store, because guess what? People still find them today. Some get lucky at garage sales. Others swap coins in online groups. Some stumble on them in childhood piggy banks. Here's the cliffhanger. What if you have one and don't even know it? What if it's just sitting there waiting? And more importantly, what if you never check? We're not talking about becoming rich overnight. We're talking about being smart with what you already have. Turning forgotten coins into opportunities, into leverage, into lifestyle. So here's your next step. Go grab your coins. Search through those dusty boxes. And if you find a 1955 no mint mark penny with doubling, do not clean it, protect it, get it authenticated. Then talk to an expert, or even better, watch more of our videos where we show you how to sell coins safely and get maximum value. Because this is just the beginning. If you want to keep discovering hidden treasure, learning how to sell old coins for real money, and building a legacy, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon, and join our growing community of everyday people turning sense into serious wealth. Remember, that penny in your hand? It might just be the beginning of a new chapter. And you're one coin away. Did you know there's a penny that could make you $853,000 richer? Yes, a single copper coin that's likely sitting unnoticed in a jar, an attic, or maybe even your junk drawer. And the best part? It's not some ancient Roman relic or buried treasure. It's a 1953 Lincoln cent with a D-mint mark. If you're between 30 and 65, living in the US, and have old coins lying around, this might be the most profitable 10 minutes you'll spend today. Now here's the kicker: millions of these pennies were made, but only a few are worth life-changing money. So what makes your 1953 D penny potentially worth over $850,000? Stick with me, because in the next few minutes you'll learn exactly what to look for, how to spot a $1,000,000 version, and how to avoid unknowingly giving away a fortune. And don't worry, no coin jargon overload, no boring lectures. Just the facts, stories, and one big reveal that could transform a forgotten penny into your golden ticket. Quick question. When was the last time you checked your old coin jar? No. Good. Because by the end of this video, you'll be digging through it like it's your retirement fund. Let's begin. Let's rewind to 1953. Dwight D. Eisenhower just became president, televisions were black and white, and pocket change actually mattered. That year, the Denver Mint struck over 700 million Lincoln pennies. Most were ordinary, but a few were not. The 1953 D Lincoln cent may look like every other penny you've seen, but here's the twist: certain rare errors and preserved conditions have sent collectors scrambling, bidding up to $853,000 for just one coin. So what makes your penny valuable? Comes down to three golden traits. 1. Condition. If your 1953 D penny has never been circulated, with a mirror-like surface and sharp details, collectors call that a proof-like or mint state coin. These are extremely rare, and some have sold for hundreds of thousands. 2. Minting errors. Look for off-center strikes, double dies, or coins that were stamped on the wrong metal. These errors can turn a 1-cent coin into a 5, 6, even 7-figure payday. One known example had a double die reverse and sold for a small fortune. 3. Color and luster. Copper pennies come in different tones. A vibrant red color with no brown discoloration is a major sign of a high-grade coin. Combine that with sharp strike details, and you've got a collector's dream. Here's where it gets fun. Some collectors even pay premiums for unique toning patterns or original mint luster that reflects rainbow colors under the light. Imagine tossing out a penny just because it looked too shiny. Now you might be thinking, wait, I had a penny that looked like that. I think I gave it to my nephew for his piggy bank. Don't worry, you're not alone. Most people have no idea they're sitting on small fortunes. Pattern interrupt. Let's pause for a second. What if I told you a man once used a rare penny to scratch off a lottery ticket and lost both the coin and the lottery? Don't be that guy. Okay, back to business. Connecting the dots. The key is knowing how to identify these traits and where to look for them. Check the coin's date and mint mark first. It should say 1953 with a small d below Lincoln. Next, look at Lincoln's features. Are they crisp? Is his jawline clear? Or does it look like he's melting in a copper sauna? Then flip the coin. The Lincoln Memorial isn't on this one yet. You'll see 2 wheat stalks, known as wheat ears. Inspect the edges, the lettering, the color. Use a magnifier or your phone's zoom. Every detail counts. Cliffhanger tease coming up. I'll reveal a shocking story of one 1953 D penny that went unnoticed for decades, until someone finally recognized it and turned it into nearly $1 million. Here's the story. A retired factory worker in Ohio kept a small cigar box full of coins from his youth. For over 40 years, it sat untouched in his garage. One day, out of pure curiosity, he took it to a coin appraisal event at a local fair. Inside was a pristine 1953 D penny, untouched, bright red, and struck with a rare DI.IT, sold at auction for over $835,000. He paid his mortgage, his grandchildren's college tuition, and finally took the trip to Italy his wife had always dreamed of. All from one penny. Now imagine what your forgotten pennies could be worth. This isn't just about coins. It's about the overlooked value in your life. Things you've ignored, dismissed, or underestimated. Go check those old coin jars, drawers, envelopes, or even that shoebox from your grandfather. Compare your 1953 D penny with verified examples online or take it to a reputable coin appraiser. Don't sell too fast. If it looks promising, get it graded by PCGS or NGC. A professionally graded coin can skyrocket in value. And finally, subscribe to this channel, because there are dozens of coins like this that people overlook every single day. You could be sitting on $1 million mistake, or $1 million discovery that will show you how to turn your coins into cash, your clutter into capital, and your memories into millions. Don't miss what could be the biggest opportunity buried in your own home. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the world of rare coins, 1 cent can change your entire life. Imagine this. You're holding a penny in your palm. Nothing fancy, just a brown, worn-out 1952 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. You toss it on the counter thinking it's worth, well, a penny. But what if I told you that little copper coin could actually be worth over $852,000? Yes, you heard that right. One single 1952 no mint mark Lincoln penny has shattered expectations, making ordinary Americans overnight millionaires. Still think it's just pocket change? Let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your coin jar? Because right now, someone out there is sitting on a forgotten fortune, and they don't even know it. This isn't just a story about a coin. It's about how something so small could change your entire life. Let's dive in. The history behind the penny. The 1952 Lincoln penny was never supposed to make headlines. Minted in the early post-war years, it was just another cent in circulation. No silver, no gold, just copper. Simple, unassuming. But here's where it gets interesting. Most 1952 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, which means no mint mark was stamped on them. They were mass-produced. Billions, actually. So why is one of these coins worth nearly $1 million today? Because not all pennies are created equal. You ever buy bananas, and one has that weird bruise that looks like Elvis? Same thing here. Except instead of fruit, you might be looking at financial freedom. Let's talk specifics. The rarity that changed everything. Some of these 1952 pennies weren't struck correctly. They had die errors, double strikes, and even off-center impressions. Others were minted in extremely limited batches using rare planchets, small copper discs meant for coins, but slightly different in composition or size. Combine that with nearly perfect condition, what collectors call MS67 red. And suddenly, boom, that penny becomes a once-in-a-lifetime asset. In recent years, auctions have seen these coins fetching up to $852,000. Not hypothetically, not maybe, actually sold. That's not just a coin. That's a house. That's retirement. That's a brand new life. The market truth most don't know. Let's get real for a second. Millions of these coins were made, but only a handful have the perfect storm of condition, rarity, and historical significance. And here's the kicker. Most of them aren't locked in vaults. They're sitting in shoeboxes, attics, junk drawers. That old dusty coffee tin your grandma refuses to throw away might be the best investment your family ever made. Collectors, investors, and even global buyers are desperate for these high-grade Lincoln cents. And that means the window to sell is wide open, but not for long. Section 4. Cliffhanger? Is yours the golden one? So now the big question. How do you know if your 1952 penny is the jackpot? No mint mark, check. Flawless or near-flawless surface, minimal scratches, clear details. Deep reddish tone called red by grading standards, a sign of original luster. Still think it's just a penny? One man in Ohio found his rare 1952 penny inside an old book. Another woman in Arizona inherited a box of coins from her grandfather and nearly threw it away. One of them sold for over $800,000. The other, still waiting to get theirs graded. And that brings us to, this could be you if you're between the ages of 30 and 65. Like most of our viewers, you probably have coins tucked away. A drawer, a safe, an old family box passed down. What if you've already been sitting on the easiest money you'll ever make? What would you do with $852,000? Pay off debt? Retire early? Buy your dream home? You don't need a metal detector. You don't need to dig in the dirt. You just need to look. The urgency is real right now. Demand is skyrocketing. Coin values are surging, and high-grade rare cents like the 1952 Lincoln are in the spotlight. Not all coins survive. Some get damaged. Others are spent and disappear into circulation, and each year, your odds shrink just a little more. Waiting another year to check might mean your rare coin ends up scratched, corroded, or worst of all, spent on a candy bar. Don't be that person who finds out too late. Section 3. Your next move. So here's what to do. Go through your old coins tonight. Find every 1952 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Hold it up to the light if it shines, if it's clean, if the details are sharp, get it professionally. Graded. Do not attempt to clean it. Do not handle it more than necessary. And absolutely do not sell it to just any buyer. Because if it's the real deal, you could be looking at life-changing money. We've helped thousands of viewers just like you discover the hidden fortune inside their own homes. The 1952 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is just one of many valuable coins still in everyday circulation. And we're just getting started. So if you want to learn which coins could be worth thousands or even millions, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on notifications. This isn't about collecting coins, it's about unlocking wealth that's already in your hands. Because you're not just holding history, you might be holding your future. Subscribe for more rare coin secrets. Watch. Next, top 10 pennies worth over $100,000. Get your coins graded. Step-by-step guide in description. What if I told you that a small, rusty coin lying in your drawer could be worth more than your car, your house, or even your retirement savings? You heard that right. One of the most ordinary-looking coins in American history, the 1951 Lincoln 1-cent penny, has stunned collectors and auction houses by fetching up to $848,000. And yes, people just like you have been unknowingly holding on to this silent fortune, tucked away in old jars or forgotten shoeboxes. Now take a deep breath, because in the next few minutes we're going to explore how this penny, minted over 70 years ago, turned into one of the most sought-after treasures in the coin world, and how you might be holding one right now. But before we dive in, here's a quick question for you. When was the last time you actually really looked at the pennies in your pocket change? If your answer is never, you might want to start checking. You could be walking around with a tiny $1 million secret. Let's unlock the story of the 1951 penny, its hidden value, the signs that set it apart, and why now is the most critical time to cash in. Let's rewind to 1951. America was in the post-war boom. Color TVs were new, gas was 27 cents a gallon, and the U.S. Mint in Denver was busy producing the Lincoln Memorial Cent with the now famous D mint mark. Over 625 million pennies were minted that year in Denver. So, how did one coin out of hundreds of millions become so rare? Here's the twist. It's not just about age or quantity. It's about errors, conditions, and timing. A small number of 1951 Lincoln pennies were minted with striking anomalies: double dies, misaligned prints, off-center impressions, or copper planchets that had a distinct reddish hue not common in the regular batch. These rare minting errors combined with high-grade preservation turned what was once pocket change into life-changing wealth. And if your coin falls into the MS-67 or higher grade, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. One such coin, nearly flawless, sold for $848,000 in a private auction, and it didn't look all that different from the ones tossed into change jars across the country. Ever wonder if your dog accidentally swallowed your retirement plan? Because that lucky penny might just be hiding under the couch cushions or stuck behind your washing machine. A sharp, uncirculated shine, no visible wear on Lincoln's jawline or coat, clean edges and crisp detail, a clear D mint mark beneath the date. Any strange discoloration, doubling, or off-center printing, and here's where it gets exciting. Many of these valuable coins haven't even surfaced yet. They're still out there in family coin boxes, old coffee tins, and childhood piggy banks. Now, imagine this for a moment. You wake up one morning, brew your coffee, decide to clean out that dusty old box in the attic, and there it is, a 1951 penny, gleaming with a suspicious copper tone. You get it graded, submit it to auction, and just a few weeks later, you're walking away with life-changing money. Too good to be true? This already happened more than once. The question is, will you be next? Check your coin jars. Look at your grandparents' collections. Visit flea markets, estate sales, anywhere you might stumble on old change. And when you spot a 1951 penny with a D mint mark, don't dismiss it. This isn't about luck. It's about paying attention and acting fast. The market for rare coins is heating up, and demand is climbing. With fewer of these gems being discovered each year, collectors are willing to pay more than ever. You could wait, but someone else out there might already be digging up their coin and cashing in before you even begin. Don't be the one who almost found fortune. And just wait until you hear about the 1955 double die penny that made a janitor over $1 million. We'll cover that in our next video, and trust me, it's one you won't want to miss. Subscribe now if you're serious about turning forgotten coins into financial freedom. Like this video if you've ever held a penny and wondered if it was worth more. And comment below if you want help identifying rare coins in your collection. Because sometimes, the smallest things hold the greatest value. What if I told you that a small brown penny from 1948, no mint mark, just 1 cent in face value, could now be worth up to $848,000? Yes, you heard that right. $848,000. And here's the twist. It's not made of gold or silver. It's just a regular copper Lincoln penny. One that millions of Americans have tossed into tip jars, forgotten in glove compartments, or dropped between the couch cushions. But one specific version of this 1948 Lincoln penny is now making headlines and shaking up the coin world. And today, I'm going to show you why this penny is so rare, what makes it worth nearly $1 million, and how you can find out if you own one. But fair warning, by the end of this video, you might just be digging through every drawer in your house. Let's dive in. So, what makes the 1948 Lincoln penny so valuable? Let's rewind the clock. Part 1. The silent mint mark. Unlike many other coins, the most valuable version of the 1948 penny has no mint mark at all. No D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, just pure copper and Abraham Lincoln's profile. At first glance, it looks like a totally ordinary penny. But here's the secret: coins with no mint mark from 1948 were minted in Philadelphia, the country's oldest mint. Most of them worth just a few cents today. But a small batch, an extremely limited run, had an unusual strike error. These coins were slightly off-center. Some had doubling in the inscriptions, and the copper content itself in a few was richer due to residual wartime compositions. These are the pennies turning collectors into millionaires. Part 2. The condition is the key. Now, here's where things get really exciting and a little painful. That one lucky seller who auctioned his 1948 no mint mark penny for $848,000. He almost spent it on coffee. That's not a joke. The only reason he didn't was because he noticed something strange. The lettering seemed slightly thicker. He'd heard about coin errors on YouTube, so he held on to it and got it appraised. Turns out that tiny difference in detail meant a massive difference in value. Imagine that, almost trading a life-changing coin for a medium latte with almond milk. The coin market right now is experiencing an explosive surge. Baby boomers are liquidating collections. Gen X and millennials are getting in on collectibles. And high-net-worth buyers are hunting these rarities like treasure. In short, this is the moment to find out if you're sitting on a hidden gem. Prices like this don't last forever. A year ago, this same penny sold for $312,000. Now, $848,000. Who knows what it'll be next year or next month? But how can you tell if the penny you have is the one collectors are going crazy for? The answer might surprise you. Part 1. How to check your 1948 penny. So, here's what to look for. Point 1. No mint mark under the year. If you see a D or S, sorry, but it's not the jackpot. Point 2. Check for doubling on the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Use a magnifying glass if you have 1.3. Look at Lincoln's eye. If there's extra definition or doubling, that's a strong sign of a valuable error. Point 4. Color matters. Deep red or red-brown shades in brilliant uncirculated condition fetch the highest prices. If your penny looks like it just rolled out of the mint, even though it's 75 years old, that's gold. Finally, 5. Consult a professional coin appraiser or grading service. Do not sell to a pawn shop. Trust me. Part 2. The emotional connection. That penny might have passed through your grandfather's pocket. It may have been tucked into an old wedding card, slipped into a child's piggy bank, or saved by someone who never imagined it would one day be worth a fortune. Sometimes, wealth doesn't come from new jobs or big risks. Sometimes it's already there, hidden in what you already have. And hey, if you've got a coffee can full of coins, don't just see caffeine. See capital. Now it's your turn. Go check your change jar, your sock drawer, that old coin folder gathering dust in the attic. Because your $1 million penny might be waiting. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more powerful tips on coins that could change your life. And remember, sometimes a penny really is worth a fortune.